Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome to all of you in Shri Jayendra Rank Zone. I am your friend and mentor for the subject Business Economics. In this lecture, we'll continue with Economics Chapter 5, that is Business Cycles. All the concepts will be covered in the coming series of lectures. This is lecture number 4. Let us begin. The first concept that we are going to discuss in this chapter is the causes of business cycles. So in today's class, the first concept that we are going to discuss is the causes of business cycles. Causes of business cycles. Business cycle may occur due to external causes or internal causes or a combination of both, that is the combination of internal causes and external causes together. In 2001, recession was preceded by an absolute mania in dot-com and technology stocks, while in 2007 to 9, recession followed by unprecedented speculation in the US housing market. We had already seen these cases. Let us talk about the internal causes of business cycles. Internal causes. The internal causes or endogenous factors which may lead to boom or burst are: number one, fluctuations in the effective demand. Fluctuations in the effective demand. According to Keynes, fluctuations in economic activities are due to the fluctuations in aggregate effective demand. Effective demand refers to the willingness and ability of a consumer to purchase goods at different prices. In a free market economy where maximization of profits is the aim of the business, a higher level of aggregate demand will induce businessmen to produce more. As a result, there will be more output, income, and employment. However, if aggregate demand outstrips aggregate supply, it causes inflation in the market because supply will not be in a position to satisfy the demand in the market. As against this, if the aggregate demand is low, there will be the lesser output, income, and lesser employment in the economy. Investors sell stocks and buy safe haven investments that traditionally do not lose value, such as bond, golds, and US dollars. So bond, gold, and US dollar, these are the safe investments. As company lay off workers, consumer lose their jobs and stop buying anything but necessities. That causes a downward spiral in the economy. The burst cycle, the burst cycle eventually stops on its own when the prices are so low that those investors that have still cash starts buying again. However, this can take a long time and even lead to a situation of depression. I believe you understood till here. The difference between the exports and imports in the foreign exchange or foreign demand of goods and services, this is the component of aggregate demand in the economy, and therefore variations in export and import can lead to business fluctuations as well. Thus, increase in aggregate demand, increase in aggregate effective demand causes conditions of expansion or boom, and decrease in aggregate effective demand causes condition of recession or depression. Let us write a note over here. Let us write a note. Note: foreign demand the difference between exports and imports is the net foreign demand for goods and services. This is a component of the aggregate demand in the economy, and therefore variations and therefore variations in exports therefore variations in exports and imports can lead to can lead to business business fluctuations also business fluctuations also. The next point is point number 2: fluctuations in investment. According to some economists, fluctuation in investment are the prime cause of business cycles. Investment spending is considered to be the more volatile component of aggregate demand. Investment fluctuate quite often because of change in the profit expectation of entrepreneurs. New inventions may cause entrepreneurs to increase investment in projects which are cost efficient and more profit inducing, or investment may rise when the rate of interest is low in the economy. Increase in investment shift the aggregate demand to the right, leading to economic depression, leading to economic expansion. Decrease in the investment have the opposite effect. Write a small note over here that investment spending investment spending is is considered to be the most volatile component of the aggregate demand of the aggregate demand of the aggregate demand. Let us move ahead and see point number 3: variations in government spending. Variations in government spending. Fluctuations in government spending with its impact on aggregate economic activity result in business fluctuations. Government spending, especially during and after wars, have destabilizing effect on the economy. Point number 4: macroeconomic policies. Macroeconomic policies. Macroeconomic policies like monetary policy and fiscal policy also cause business cycles. Expansionary policies such as increased government spending and or tax cuts are the most common method of boosting aggregate demand. This results in booms. Similarly, softening of interest rate, decrease in the interest rate, often motivated by political motives, lead to inflationary effects in the economy and decline in unemployment rates. Anti-inflationary measures such as reduction in government spending, increase in taxes, interest rate causes a downward pressure on the aggregate demand and the economy slows down at times, such slowdowns may be drastic, slowing negative growth and may ultimately end up the recession. I believe you understood till here. The next is money supply. Point number fifth, money supply. According to Hawtrey, trade cycle is purely monetary phenomena. Unplanned changes in supply of money may cause business fluctuations in an economy. An increase in the supply of money causes expansion in aggregate demand and economic activities. However, excessive increase in credit and money also sets off the inflation in the economy. Capital is easily available. Therefore, consumers and businesses alike can borrow at low rates. This stimulates more demand, creating a vicious circle of prosperity. On the other hand, decrease in the supply of money may reverse the process and initiate recession in the economy. So this is anti-inflationary measure. Anti-inflationary measure. The next is psychological factors. The next is psychological factors. According to Pigou, modern business activities are based on the anticipations of business community and are affected by waves of optimism and pessimism. Business fluctuations business fluctuations are the outcome of these psychological state of mind of businessmen. If entrepreneurs are optimistic about future market, they may make investment and as a result the expansionary phase may begin. When an entrepreneur are pessimistic, what happens? The opposite happens when entrepreneurs are pessimistic about future market conditions. Investors tend to restrict their investment with reduced investment, employment, reduced income and reduced consumption also takes the downturn and economy faces contraction in economic activities. According to Scrumter, innovation theories, trade cycles occurs as a result of innovation which takes place in the system from time to time. The cobweb theory propounded by Nicholas Kaldor holds that the business cycle results from facts that represent prices, sustainability, influence the production of some future dates. The present fluctuations in prices may become responsible for fluctuations in outcome and employment at some subsequent period. So this was about the internal causes of business cycles. Let us continue with the external causes of business cycles. The external causes or exogenous factors which may lead to boom or bust are as follows. The first external causes is wars. War. So during wartime, production of war goods like weapons and arms increases and most of the resources of the country are diverted for their production. This affects the production of other goods, that is other capital goods and other consumer goods in the market, in the economy, and fall in production causes fall in the income of the people. fall in profits, fall in employment level in the economy. This creates contraction in the economic activity and may trigger the downturn in business cycles. The second point is post-war reconstruction. Post-war reconstruction. So after war, the country began to reconstruct itself. Houses, road, bridges are built and economic activity begins to pick up. All these activities push up effective demand due to which the output, employment and income goes up. Technology shocks. So growing technology enables production of new and better products and services, and these products generally require huge investment for new technology adoption. This leads to expansion of employment, income and profits and gives a boost in the economy. For example, due to the advent of mobile phones, the telecom industry underwent a boom and there was expansion of production, employment and income and profits. The fourth is natural factors. The fourth is natural factors. The four causes is natural factors. So weather cycle cause fluctuations in agriculture output, which in turn cause instability in the economies, especially those economies which are mainly agrarian economies. In the years when there are droughts and excessive floods, agricultural output is badly affected, and with reduced agricultural output, incomes of farmers may fall, and therefore they reduce their demand for the industrial goods. Reduced production, reduced production of food products also pushes up their prices and then reduces the income available for buying what? For buying industrial goods. Reduced demand for industrial products may cause the industrial recession. The next point talks about population growth. Population growth. If the growth rate of population is higher than the rate of economic activity, there will be lesser savings in the economy. Fewer saving will reduce investment, and as a result of it, the income and employment will also be less. With lesser employment and income, the effective demand will be less, and overall there will be slowdown in the economic activities. Economies of nearly all nations are interconnected through trade. Therefore, we can say that depending on the amount of bilateral trade, business fluctuations that occur in one part of the world gets easily transmitted to other part of the world also. Changes in laws related to taxes, trade regulations, and government expenditure, transfer of capital and production to other countries, shift in taste and preferences of consumer are also a potential source of disruption in the economy. I believe you must have understood till here. I believe you must have understood till here. You can give heading over here as international trade. International trade. Let us discuss the next point. The next topic is relevance of business cycles in the business decision making. Or you can also say that the role of business cycle in the business decision making. Role of business cycles. Role of business cycles. Role of business cycles in business decision making. Business decision making. Business cycles affect all aspects of the economy. Understanding The business cycle is important for businesses of all types, and they affect the demand for their products and in turn their profits, which ultimately determine whether the business is successful or not. Knowledge regarding business cycles and their inherited characteristics is important for a businessman to frame appropriate policies. For example, the period of prosperity opens up new superior opportunities for investment, employment, and production, and therefore promotes business. In contrast, a period of recession or depression reduces business opportunity and profits. A profit maximizing firm has to consider the nature of economic environment while making business decisions, especially those related to forward planning. Business cycles have tremendous influence on business decisions. The stages of business cycle is crucial while making managerial decisions regarding the expansion and downsizing of the economy. Business have to advantageously respond to the need to alter the production levels relative to demand. The demand phase of the cycle requires fluctuating levels of input use, especially the labor inputs. Firms should exercise the capability to expand and rationalize production operation so as to suit the stage of business cycle. Business managers need to work effectively to arrive at sound strategic decisions in complex times across the whole business cycle, managing through boom, downturn, recession, and recovery. Economy wide trends can have significant impact on all the types of the business. However, it should be kept in mind that the business cycle do not affect all sectors uniformly. Some businesses are more vulnerable to changes in the business cycle than other businesses. Businesses whose fortunes are closely linked to the rate of economic growth are referred as the cyclical businesses. These include fashion retailers, electrical goods, house builders, restaurants, advertising, overseas tour, construction, and other infrastructure firms. During a boom, such businesses see a strong demand for their products, but during a slump, the lowest part of recession is known as slump. Slump, they usually suffer a sharp drop in demand. It may also happen that some businesses actually benefit from an economic downturn. This happens when their products are perceived by customers as representing good value from money or a cheaper alternative compared to more expensive products. Continue. Overcoming the effects of economic downturns and recession is one of the major challenges of sustaining a businesses in the long term. The phase of business cycle is important for a new business to decide on entry into the market. The stage of business cycle is also important to determine the success of new product launch. Surviving the sluggish business cycles require businesses to plan and set policies with respect to the product price and promotion. In general, economic forecasts are not perfectly reliable. Neither, of course, are the hunches or intuitions of an entrepreneur. So, understanding what phase of business cycle an economy is in and what implications the current economic conditions have for their current and future business activities help businesses for better anticipate the market and respond with their greater alertness. However, taken together and applied carefully, economic forecast can help businesses firms to prepare for changes in the direction of the economy, either prior to soon after these changes occur. Okay? Okay, take some notings. Economy, economy-wide trends and business cycles have significant impact on all types of business. Overcoming the effects of economic downturns and recessions is one of the major challenges of sustaining a business in the long term. Understood? The role of business cycles, the role of business cycles, the role of business cycles in business decision making is explained below. First, first demand impact. Demand impact. Demand impact. Business cycles. Business cycles affect all aspects of an economy. Business cycles affect all aspects of an economy. So, so a proper manufacturing, so a proper manufacturing so a proper understanding the business cycle the business cycle is a must for for all businesses for all businesses since such cycles since such cycles affect the demand since such cycles affect the demand for the firm's product for the firm's product and also and also their profits and also their profits, survival and growth prospects and growth prospects. Point number two, policies. Policies. Knowledge of business policies. Knowledge of business policies. Knowledge of business policies. Knowledge of business cycles. Knowledge of business cycles and their characteristics inherent characteristics inherent characteristics is important for a business firm is important for a business firm to frame appropriate policies to frame appropriate policies. The period of prosperity the period of prosperity creates more opportunities. The period of prosperities create more opportunities for investment, employment, employment and production and production and production and thereby promotes business and thereby promotes business and thereby promotes business. The period of recession the period of recession or depression the period of recession or depression reduces business opportunities in business opportunities business opportunities and and profits and profits. Next point number 3, expansion decisions. Next point number 3, expansion decisions. Expansion decisions. Business cycles have business cycles have significant influence on business cycles have significant influence on business decisions business decisions, business decisions. A profit seeking, a profit seeking firm, a profit seeking firm should consider, a profit seeking firm should consider the nature of economic environment, the nature of economic environment in making business planning, in making business planning and managerial decisions and managerial managerial decisions. Example, example, relating to expansion, relating to expansion or downsizing, or downsizing, relating to expansion and downsizing. Let us continue. Let us continue. Point number 4. Point 4. Production aspects. Production aspects. Businesses have businesses have businesses have to properly businesses have to properly respond businesses have to properly respond to the to the need to alter production levels, to alter production levels, to alter production levels relative to demand, relative to demand. Different different phases of different phases of different phases of the cycle requires fluctuating 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 levels of inputs fluctuating levels of inputs use. Firms should firms should exercise firms should exercise the the capability the capability to expand or rationalize or rationalize production rationalize production operations so as to suit so as to suit the stage the stage of the business cycle of the business cycle of the business cycle. business managers business managers need to work business managers need to work business managers need to work effectively, need to work effectively to to arrive at sound strategic decision, arrive at sound strategic decisions, sound strategic decisions, sound strategic decisions in complex in complex times in complex times in complex time across the whole business cycle whole business cycle managing 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 through boom boom managing through downturn recession recession and recovery and recovery. Point number 5. Point number 5. Cyclical businesses. Cyclical businesses. Cyclical businesses. Business cycles. First, A. Business cycles do not affect. Business cycles do not affect all sectors. Do not affect all sectors uniformly. Do not affect all sectors uniformly. Some businesses are some businesses are more vulnerable to changes. Some businesses are more vulnerable to changes in the business cycle. In the business cycle than others. Than others. Than others. 5B. Businesses whose whose fortunes are closely linked whose fortunes are closely linked to the rate of economic growth to the rate of economic growth are called cyclical businesses are called cyclical businesses. Examples are examples are house builders house builders contractors contractors infrastructure infrastructure restaurants advertising advertising overseas overseas tour operators overseas tour operators fashion retailers fashion retailers etc etc 5C during a boom 5C during a boom during a boom such businesses see a strong demand see a strong demand for their products. But during a slump, but during a slump, they usually they usually suffer a suffer a sharp drop in demand, sharp drop in demand, sharp drop in demand. 5D. Some some businesses may actually benefit from an economic downturn, an economic downturn. Example, when their products are when their products are perceived by perceived by when their products are perceived by customers as as representing good value for money, good value for money, good value for money, or a or a cheaper alternative or a cheaper alternative compared to cheaper alternative compared to more expensive products compared to more expensive products compared to more expensive products. Let's move ahead. Point number 6. Point number 6, market entry. Point number 6, market entry or or product launch. 6A, the phase the phase of the business cycle the phase of the business cycle the phase of the business cycle is important for a new business. The phase of the business cycle is important for a new business to decide on entry into the market, to decide on entry into the market, entry into the market, and and determines and determines the success of determines the success of a new product launch, success of a new product launch. Next, businesses. Businesses are required. Businesses are required to plan and set policies. Businesses are required to set plans and policies with respect to product, prices, and promotion and promotion. Product prices promotion in tune in tune with the in tune with the stage of the business cycle stage of the business cycle stage of the business cycles. Point number 6, market entry, product launch. We have finished. At last, write conclusion conclusion. Economic forecast economic forecast are economic forecasts are not perfectly reliable not perfectly reliable but but are better but are better than merely the the launches. Economic forecasts are not perfectly reliable but are better than merely hunches and intuitions of entrepreneur. Merely the hunches and intuitions intuitions of entrepreneur entrepreneur. Next point, understanding understanding what phase understanding what phase of the business cycle understanding what phase of the business cycle understanding what phase of the business cycle an economy is in and what implication and what implication the current the current the current conditions economic conditions have for their and current and future business activity helps business firms helps business firms to helps business firms to better anticipate the market, to better anticipate the market, to respond to the market situation, to respond to the market situations, with greater alertness, with greater alertness, with greater alertness and C, to prepare, C, to prepare for changes, to prepare for changes in the direction of, in the direction of, in the direction of the economy, either either prior to or either prior to or soon after these changes occurs, these changes occurs. Okay, I believe you must have understood till here. Let me ask you a few questions. Supposingly, due to recession, supposingly, due to recession, employment rate, employment rate, employment rate and output dash respectively. Due to recession, employment rate and output dash respectively. If you know the concepts well, you can fill in the blanks. So employment rate falls and output also falls respectively. So employment rate falls and output also falls respectively. Due to recession, employment rate and output both will decrease. Next question. Next question. Businesses whose fortunes are whose fortunes are closely linked, businesses whose fortunes are closely linked to the rate of economic growth, to the rate of economic growth, are referred to as dash business, referred to as dash business. Fortunes are closely linked to rate of economic growth, are referred to as dash business. Cyclical business, cyclical business. One more question. Question 3. A period of dash reduces 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 business opportunities and profits. Business opportunities and profits. A period of dash reduces business opportunities and profits. So generally it would be recession. A period of recession reduces business opportunities and profits. I believe you understood. I believe you understood this. Let us see one more question. Write an example of cyclical business. An example of cyclical business. Write an example of cyclical business. Write an example of cyclical business. So the example could be construction and other infrastructure firms More example, restaurants, advertising, and overseas tour operators You can also write fashion retailers. You can also write fashion retailers, or electrical goods and house builders Question 5. The period of prosperity opens up new and superior opportunities for dash and thereby promotes businesses. So the answer could be investment, employment, and production. Write a statement Business cycles affect all aspects. Business cycle affects all aspects of an economy. Business cycle affects all aspects of an economy. All aspects of an economy. Next, write a statement that business cycles have tremendous influence. That means a lot of influence on business decisions. Lots of influence on business decisions. Business cycles have a lot of influence on business decisions. Write a question. Question 8. Which external factor affect the business cycle? Which external factor affect the business cycle? So there could be many answers. Population growth. Some more. Technology shocks. External factors like wars, post-war reconstruction. So these are some factors. Let's go next. Question number 9. Okay, write a phrase that the stage oblique phase of the business cycle is important for what? For making managerial decisions regarding expansion or downsizing. Next, a new business to decide on entry into the market. A new business is to decide the entry into the market. The success of a new product. Write a statement that business cycles is contagious and international. Business cycle is not national. Business cycle is international in character. Business cycles is international in character. I believe you must have understood till here. We stop here and we'll continue in the next class now. Thank you.